When I travel overseas, call me international dollar. Accepted everywhere across hemispheres, grad school scholar. Verbally poetic, spiritually prophetic. Travel this globe in hopes of finding poetry spewing from native tongues. If you think you've reached your peak, wait until you hear that next poet speak. Everyone has a story to tell, and poetry does it well. What's your story?
Thank you for being here with us today at Poetry Globe. We have a great show lined up for you. We have Ainsley Burroughs, Jive Poetic, and Louis ConPhliction. Right now, all the way from St. Louis, help me in bringing to the stage Louis ConPhliction. Thank you for coming, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all looking good. Hey.
Getting right into it, huh? You're very familiar with New Jersey and the East Coast. You were here recently for a show in New York, right?
Yeah, I was just with
How did that go?
Harsh Reality and Street Poets just on Friday, day before yesterday.
Okay.
It was a great show. I enjoy the whole New York energy and vibe. Really busy. Wouldn't live there, but would definitely go back very often. It was a good time.
Well, we appreciate having you. I'm sure that they enjoyed it. Now, you are from St. Louis,
Yes.
correct? Are you born and raised?
Born and raised, yes. Missouri boy all day.
You came up in an era of the St. Lunatics, yes?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with any of those guys? Because I know that you have multiple talents.
Familiar with,
you
as
in that
in
scene?
know of, yeah. I met a couple of the gentlemen at different times. Personally familiar, no. I actually just hosted a poetry event last week with Nelly's daughter, Nana.
Okay, that's
So
interesting.
that was actually some of the first interaction I had with the family directly. So,
Okay, was
but
she
yeah.
doing poetry?
Yeah,
at the
she
show?
did. She's actually a singer and a songwriter. Pretty talented. I wasn't. I didn't know what to expect. I won't say I wasn't expecting her to be talented. I'm gonna say I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. So seeing her songs and the songs that she wrote herself, yeah, I really enjoyed her.
That's great. You have been in the poetry scene for quite a while. You have some projects out. Tell us about the projects. You have a couple of books and CDs as well, right? I don't even know if we call them CDs anymore. Musical content pieces for the people.
Yes.
Tell us about some
CDs
of your work.
are fine with me. A couple different things. I have a couple of mixtapes. The first mixtape I ever released was Mr. Who Are You and a Few Cool St. Louisans. That was a couple years ago. And
Say that title again?
Mr. Who Are You and a Few Cool St. Louisans.
That's a
So that
poetic
was
title.
just a group of individuals that I knew from St. Louis, and I wanted to create a collective because St. Louis is very divided in certain ways at different times. So I wanted to kind of turn away from all the division and just bring as many people on that I could reach out to. It went from that to my most recent project, which was a mixtape called Brain Fart. That's hip hop and R&B. Brain Fart, yeah, just a lot of things that just come out of my head. I'm very random, so.
So you said hip hop and R&B.
Yeah, hip hop and R&B, singing,
Any
rapping.
poetry on that piece?
No, the poetry album is Louis ConPhliction, Letters from the Conflicted.
Okay.
And that's the poetry project. And I also have one more album with my band, 227, and that's called The Revolutionary Dream.
That's a lot of work on the market, man. That's great.
A little bit, a little something, something.
You mentioned the band, so that's a little different. I don't see too many poets performing with a band behind them. What does that show look like with a band behind it?
Very busy. It's a lot going on. We have keyboardist, lead guitar, bass guitar, drums, two singers, myself, and I am the hip hop. I'm the MC and the poet. So we just kind of put our thoughts together and come up with some cool stuff. Try to make feel good music. That's the whole goal of our band. Especially coming up in St. Louis, you know, there's always the controversy, murder capital, all of the things going wrong. So just trying to create some feel-good music, and that's what we do.
That's
making
good.
live music that feels good.
Yeah, I definitely like your vibe. I saw your live show. That's
Appreciate
how
it.
we
Thank
met and why we invited you here today. So I definitely know what you're referring to with the
Yeah.
feel-good music, and they'll get a taste of that in a little bit.
A little bit.
So I have a poem titled Black Frat Man. there's a line in that says, my roommate was A5, stomping around campus, shouting '06. Everybody respect, they're the ones that started all this. That means a little something to you, right?
Very pertinent to me, yes.
You're a letterman.
Yeah, a member of
A5.
Alpha Phi Alpha, Fraternity
Okay.
Incorporated. Yeah, crossed in 2008.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank
A little
you.
while ago.
I will take every congratulations. It's funny because it doesn't come up very often. In my demographic, you have kind of like two types of people. You have those people that are trying to let the whole world know, oh yeah, I'm Greek, I'm an alpha. You have those other people that are like kind of low key. So a lot of people don't even know that that's something that I represent, because I did it for myself. I did it for the lineage. I did it for the understanding and for the brotherhood.
You say lineage, you have family that's...
Yes, my older
Greek?
cousin is actually a member of my chapter. So
Okay.
my older cousin was in my chapter before I became a member of it.
That's great. So you're carrying on tradition as well.
Yeah, carrying on tradition, yes, very
That's
much.
good.
So yeah, it's pretty good. I like to believe that we have very different divisionary impulses coming from fraternities. Sometimes they say that fraternities and sororities are kind of like Greek gangs, and I think
That's
that
a
is
stretch.
I think that, well, it has some validity. I will say that, because there is a certain amount of rivalry that happens that would make you wonder if there was ever any togetherness to start with, you know. But I will say that being a black man in the college community, to have a support system, to have a brotherhood, it's so necessary. So a lot of the younger students that come to me and ask me, yo, I want to be Greek. What do I do? What should I join? Who should I join? I tell them, do your research, but at any given time, find the brotherhood that you need in whichever way that it happens, because we have so many of us that drop out because we don't have a support system. So I think amongst many other things, being a fraternity was a great support system for me to have.
When you say drop out, you're referring to?
Dropping out of college, yeah.
Okay.
Not finishing, not going forward. For whatever reasons, a lot of times it's financial, a lot of times it's literally because they don't believe that they can, lack of belief in self. When situations get hard, you don't know what you can make it through. So
Just really stopping. And
so if you're in a fraternity and you join this organization and you see the upliftment of your fellow brother and yourself, you begin to have that air about your being. You know, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can make it through. And at the times when you don't, or you feel like you can't, there's somebody that you can talk to that you know directly understands your situation. There's been times where I had issues in college where I really was trying to meet minds with my counselor, you know, but this 65-year-old white woman really can't identify with me on the level which I may necessarily need it to move forward with this process. And I think that having that support system in a fraternity was great.
That's great. When you're online and you have brothers now, you definitely form a bond. You've been in quite a few slams, right? Have any of those been team slams? And if so, how does are there any similarities between that, and what did you take from being in a frat and having that bond to bonding with your slam teammates?
I think that the most viable similarity is that the chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And in the event that you find a weaker link, it is your duty to help make it stronger. I started off slamming. Well, I don't slam very often. I don't really care for the competition ideal of it too much.
Okay.
I prefer to be free in my creation. I feel like sometimes slam poets, because they're slamming, they want to get the highest scoring thing, the highest scoring poem. Therefore, they're not truly themselves. There's been a few times where I've witnessed some really heavy, hard-hitting poems, you know, and I've went over to the individual like, you know, I'm sorry for your loss. I apologize for what happened to you. And individuals like, nah, never happened to me. I just thought it would be a dope subject to write on, you know.
I laughed because I knew where you were going.
Because I wanted the high score, you know. So I feel like it is more of a poet's duty to be transparent in themselves than it is to write to score. So that's why I don't slam as much. But it's very much the same. Southern Fried Poetry Slam is one of my favorites. Outside of nationals and things like that, we have the National Poetry Slams, which are a lot of fun, but they're a lot more political to me.
Okay.
And
you mean the content or the actual what's going on behind the scenes?
The content in front of and behind the scenes. The subject matter, the transparency, even the delivery. I would charge anyone who watches Slam regularly to see if you can pick up on a tone, to see if you can pick up on certain delivery devices. Right. Now, me personally, I believe that poetry is very individual. I believe poetry is like a conversation. So if I've never met you before and I'm from California and you're from New York, there is no way possible that our tone, our inflection in the way that we speak should be similar. However, in slam, there are sometimes, well, not sometimes, I've been noticing more and more lately that in slam, whether I'm in New York or I'm in California, whether I am up north or down south, I am getting the same devices. I'm getting the same inflections, the same tones. And not saying that that is necessarily a bad thing, because that also alludes to that this is becoming more popular, which is beautiful for us, and that's something that we want. But it kind of takes away from the beauty of poetry, the beauty of interaction. There is no way in hell that we should all be in the same room. And I say everybody here write 10 lines of a poem. It shouldn't sound the same. The subject matter shouldn't be the same. The idea of how it's executed shouldn't be so similar. And I've just been noticing that more and more lately in the slam community, that it, especially with our youth, because our youth learn from us. So like if you watch things like Brave New Voices and things like that, these children are phenomenally talented. I'm talking about these babies is gifted. Excellent. But in the way that they're giving their gift, they're dating themselves in essence, because what they're doing is the best manner. What they're doing is the best manner for themselves, but they got it from a time period that was before them. Okay. So you're really doing the best version of something played out, because you don't even know what would be the language to speak to your people in. Well, it's kind of like music, you know. If you're making rock and roll in the 1950s, I should hope by the 1970s your music sounds different. And I should hope that the people that come into music represent something different. So if these students are coming in sounding exactly like their ancestors or forefathers, it's understandable, but in any reference of life, there should be some differentiation.
And originality.
Yeah, most definitely.
A lot of people that sit in this chair are educators and teach poetry and have an influence and an opportunity to groom. You doing the same. You're one of those people as well. Something stood out regarding yourself that I saw, and you teach adults all the way down to children, which is a little different from what I've heard. What's that dynamic like, teaching the small kids?
Oh, it's so much more fun. Yeah. It is. By the time, okay, so I have a philosophy. I feel like when you're born, you are your original self, right? The older that you get, as you grow, the further away you travel from your original self. But it's a paradigm, okay? Because the further you travel away from your original self, the more wisdom you gain, but the more personal knowledge you lose, knowledge of yourself. So when you meet these children, they are so close to their original being. That's good. Meaning that the older that we all get, the further away we're not our original being, because we learn how to interact with society. We learn how to do these things that people give us, not things that we chose to take on our own. So when you get a baby, you get a child, you know, and they're giving you their true organic expression, it's always profound. Man, these little ones can write.
So what's the youngest age that someone has written and completed work to turn into you?
I'd say 6.
Wow.
6 years old is, and I've had students writing younger because I was a youth minister and I used to write in church with the children. But I'll say, like, the youngest poet that has just dropped my jaw. Like, you know, like, what
Right.
are you talking about?
Couldn't believe
Like,
it.
yeah, 6 years old, man.
That's great.
They're awesome.
That's good.
So, yeah, but it's very different. I think the older that you get, the more you learn to conform, the more that you, and in learning to conform, the more you forget who you are. So it's like when we get the little ones, they know exactly who they are, and
At
they
that
haven't
moment,
been
yeah.
led away from themselves.
Not much influencing them at that time
Yeah.
with their words. That's great. You, yourself, you're a multi-talent, as I mentioned before. So,
bit.
poet, rapper, singer, screenwriter.
Little stuff.
There's a little bit of, I hear in your, I don't want to just say music, but your art, your pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Some jazz and soul influence a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about some of your influences, both in music and poetry?
Oh man, I'll be talking for a minute.
Just a few.
I love jazz just in general, and I love jazz with music and jazz with poetry because it makes the cadences more fluid. Older poetry, it's very A-B, the rhymes.
He's teaching right now.
Very A-B, the couplets, the rhymes are very simple. And I think that to be a true poet, you have to step outside of certain literary devices, meaning that you have to know of them. You have to know that, yes, my cadence does matter. You have to know that, yes, these words matter, but you have to be willing to say, forget all of that in the goal of truly expressing myself organically. And in expressing yourself organically, there is no preconceived notion of a beat. There is no preconceived notion of a way that a sentence is supposed to flow, or even if it's supposed to be a sentence. That's why I loved poetry so much coming up as a child, because it was horrible grammatically. And that was something that really validated me. It's something that really made me excited in the idea that I could be viewed or still have my thoughts considered without sticking to this script so hard. You know, and I think that's
flexibility.
That's why poetry is so much fun outside of regular, like, short stories and literary writing, because in those places, you miss a comma, you literally can ruin a person's whole experience.
Ruin their career.
They could truly misunderstand what you're saying.
Right.
While in poetry, you miss a comma, they just gonna look harder. You know,
Did he
there's
mean to
just
do
something.
that?
Yeah, there's something. You know that it's possible. You know that it's possible for there to be a whole poem with not one period. You know it's possible for there to be a whole stanza without one capitalization point. And, like, I think that is freeing.
Who's your favorite soul singer?
My favorite, okay, I'll tell you my favorite soul singer of today, because
Okay.
literally it changes every day at different times. So right now I'm Otis Redding. Yeah, that's
my favorite. The interview's not over. I just wanted to salute him and handshake him because Otis is my favorite.
Yeah, that's him and Mayfield. Their writing, man, their writing was just great.
I like the voices.
Yeah, the voices were awesome, but it was just something about the writing. I feel like, and because they wrote their own music, I feel like you would have definitely been able to tell had someone else wrote Otis Redding's music for him.
Not just the song,
The words,
but the music
the words.
as well. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the words. Like there was something poetic yet very informative and direct about the way that they wrote. Transparent, where you could feel their emotions. I feel like as of now, we don't have very many artists that truly embody that transparency.
Okay.
We have some, but I do believe, like, that's one of the reasons why I think people like Drake so much. Everyone calls him sensitive and so on and so forth, but in the truth of the reality of it, you know names, you know people, you know where he been, you know what he did in Houston, you know who he fought with in Atlanta. Like those are the type of things that we care about. Those are things that make us feel more human and understanding their humanness. And I think that was much more apparent back in the day. I feel like just the way that they wrote, you just felt like you could identify with them more. Or maybe that's just something that I feel. And I think that's one of the disconnects that we have generationally anyway. Like, it's kind of like you don't know how great you are until it's too late. Kind of like body dysmorphia. I remember when I was young, I used to think I was extremely skinny. And then I wasn't extremely skinny. Okay. I was very average size. I wasn't too big, I wasn't too small, but at that time, I really wanted to be thinner. I mean, I really wanted to be bigger. So years pass, and then you look back at those pictures, those middle school pictures, those elementary school pictures, and you see yourself, and you be like, God damn, like, like this is the body I had the whole time. I would have been perfectly fine with that, So it's just like, I feel like sometimes when you're looking outside of yourself, you see everybody else as better in some way, shape, or form. We see, so me personally, I feel like our elders just did it better. Okay. And is that the truth? No, it can't be, because it's all relative. We all do what we do in our time period. So literally, I can't be doing it better or worse, nor could they have been doing it better or worse.
Thank you for the kind words. Give Lewis a round of applause. He'll be back momentarily with a show for you. Thank you, Lewis.
Okay, the first piece I'm going to be doing, kind of an icebreaker. It's called song drama, so kind of like poetry karaoke. Snap your fingers, you like karaoke? Okay. So if you know any of the songs in this poem, feel free to just blurt out and sing along with me. If that's cool, let me hear you say cool. Cool. All right, tell y'all a story. So I was chilling, Fresh Prince in summertime. When I seen this PYT, pretty young thing, and I pointed her out to my homie. He told me, never trust a big button to smile, that girl is poison. I told him, if loving her is wrong, I don't want to be right, because I like big butts and I cannot lie. And baby got back, so I walked over to her. Excuse me, what's your name? Can we talk for a minute? She gonna look at me talking about, no, I don't want your number. No, I ain't trying to give you mine. I said, Bonita Applebaum, you gotta put me on. She said, can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bills? I told her, I heard it ain't tricking if you got it, so I'ma make it rain because I got racks on racks on racks. But that's only because her booty got swag. No, seriously, when I sit in the room and I stare at the wall, in the back of my mind, I hear my conscience call, girl, I need love, right? So she gave me the number. I gave her mine. A couple days later, she called me. I tried to answer the phone all smooth. I was like, hello? Is it me you're looking for? She was like, boy, you should know that I got you on my mind. But how come you don't call me? I was like, I was gonna call you, boo. But I was high. She like, how about a threesome? You, me, and Mary Jane. Needless to say, I'm on my way. I know, why must I be like that? Why must I chase the cat? Nothing but the dog in me. So I roll up, and I wish I never did it, because I see pictures of her man. She tell me that that's her dude, but he don't treat her right. That's the Ike to her Tina, so she creep. Yeah, just keep it on the down low. Either I can stay with her or keep it rolling down the river. I was gonna leave, right? Till I thought to myself, I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me, and if it makes you happy. Don't be acting like you don't know that song. Can't be that bad, right? I decided to stay. She started kissing on me, had me feeling like Monica. I should make a move, but I won't. But when I get that feeling, I want sexual healing. She said, break me off or show me what you got. I don't want no 1 minute, man. Told her, give me 3 minutes, maybe 4. She want to marry me. Who can love you like me? Nobody. Next thing you know, me and Miss Mrs. Jones. We got a thing going on, right? Hard. Until the door bust open. What the hell is going on between the sheets in my home? Oh, man. She like, baby, that's just a friend from work. He like, oh, baby, you got what I need. But you say he's just a friend. But you say he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you. And I can tell you lying, because when you reply, you stutter, stutter. And don't you remember you told me you love me, baby? She looked at him cold. I'm getting tired of your shit, and you don't never buy me nothing. See, baby, I used to love you, but I should have cheated, because there's a stranger in my house. He mad. You nothing but a liar, a cheater, deceiver, heartbreaker. She like R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. Then he gonna walk out the room, talk about, I ain't no killer, but don't push me. Woo-ha, I got you all in check. So now we both run into our hair. Bang, bang, I shot you down, and I'm like, someone please call 911. And now I just wish I never met her at all. Soft. That's right, that's right. I like to start off with that piece because our poets, or us as poets, there are some times where we're so profound, we forget that there is also room for entertainment. I think that poetry is very uplifting, and I think that it should be very uplifting, but sometimes you gotta have some fun too, and I think sometimes we get a little holier than thou in our standpoint. And I know where it comes from because we're griots, you know what I'm saying? So we're giving our people's lineage. So I like to just mix it up, stir it up a little bit. Let's see. Trying to figure out where I want to go next. All right, so this next piece is another audience participation piece. You ever, snap your fingers, you ever had a crush before? Yeah. All right, so this piece is called Secret Admirer, and it's a very simple piece, but I need y'all help again on the melody. It's like, ride, 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 ride. Can you do that for me on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3, go. Ride, 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 ride. Ooh, y'all sound good. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. I like that. Put a little KC, a little JoJo in it. All right, so I'm going to start with the song. Y'all just snap along with me, and when it gets to that part, I need your help. If that's cool, let me hear you say cool. Cool. All right. Pardon me, sometimes it's hard for me to be straightforward, but I never been so moved to say hello. Hello, low, low, or how do you? Not trying to frighten you. I saw you leaving, and I thought I'd be a fool to let you go. You go if I could just get your name, and maybe we'd exchange contact information. We can have a conversation, take as long as you need. Just call me when you're free, and girl, I'll be waiting. Yeah, I'll be waiting. But she told me she ain't looking for a boyfriend. Fine, I ain't looking for a girlfriend neither. I'm just really feeling your smile, and I'm digging your style, and decided I had to meet you. And no, I ain't a thief, but I can steal you away. Ain't a murderer, but we could kill time today. Life ain't always pretty, need a partner in crime. You can be my Bonnie, I can be your Clyde. We can just ride, 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 ride. And I'm singing 'cause y'all with me, ride, 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 ride. And ooh, y'all sound so good now. Ride, 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 ride. Sing it one more time, family. Ride, 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 ride. See, the problem isn't that I don't have the courage. The problem is that I know. I know how true love story go. And to be honest, y'all, she's just too perfect to risk the chances of hurting. So rather than walk over to her, offer some lame game and most certain future pain to her existence, I'll just sit here and admire her from the distance. I mean, man, look at her. You take childbirths, Christenings, weddings, angels singing, sex, hitting the lottery, sunshine, fine wine, and strawberry vest soda, and put them all together, and they still don't hold a candle to her. As I watch her talk to dudes who pursue what ensues between her thighs, and her eyes try to look amused by their game, but in her mind, she already knows their aim. I wish I had telekinetic power so just I can glance at her in a second and express my infatuation. I mean, if I had a girl like that, I would take a nest of doves and pluck every single solitary feather just to ensure that her pillow was soft enough to give her head comfort. I would write a song for her every night just to ensure that in the morning, she could awaken to a new melody soothing her spirit. Can you hear it? That's the sound of my heart fluttering like the wings of a hummingbird whenever she's in my sight. It's like since seeing her face, nothing's been the same. Like, I'm insane. I could be cut right now. No blood would ooze, just letters that spell out her name. Gotten to the point where I'm jealous of inanimate objects. Even that damn chair gets to touch her more than I do. And she gave me 2018 vision. That's better than 2020. My vision couldn't be any clearer, but I'm still envious of her eyes because they get the chance to watch her in the mirror. And she give me butterflies. And I ain't talking about no normal butterflies. I mean, my butterflies got butterflies that'll never see summer skies because they too busy watching her too. So now I'm fighting with the butterflies she gave me because I'd be damned if anyone pays her more attention than I do. And I know that guys do want a 5-star chicken. That's fine in all normality because she defies gravity. So if they 5 stars, then she the galaxy, sunrise, moon, all. It's like when I see her face, I'm not even admiring anymore. I'm physically moved to awe and I just want to be close to her. So close to her, there's no such word as interference. Like if her heart whispers pain, I want my ears to be in tune to hear it. I'm trying to be so close to this woman that I can finish her sentences. Like if I whisper dirty things from across the room, she'll orgasm from the distance. I just want to audition. I feel like once you say I do to become that person's soulmate and to make them smile every day for the rest of their life till their face hurts should be a mission. But the problem is I know that real relationships always go sour, so with all the power I have inside, I can't let her see. Because honestly, I know me, and I know that I'm gonna hurt her, and I can't do that. So I gotta leave her before I hurt her, because if I ever hurt her, that'll be like murder. No, scratch that, suicide, because I did it to myself. So I just gotta take her to my heart's library and sit her on the shelf. I mean, I want her, but I can't let her know. Neither, but could never let these emotions show. The way she makes me feel makes the words love and pain synonymous. So for now, I'm just going to sit here, ski mask over my heart, remain anonymous. Nah, mama ain't raised no punk. I'm going to go talk to her. Pardon me, sometimes it's hard for me to be straightforward, but I never been so moved to say hello. Hello, if I could just get your name, and maybe we'd exchange contact information. We can have a conversation, take as long as you need. Just call me when you're free, and girl, I'll be waiting. Yeah, I'll be waiting. But she told me she ain't looking for a boyfriend. Fine, I ain't looking for a girlfriend neither. I'm just really feeling your smile, digging your style, and decided I had to meet you. And no, I ain't a thief, but I could steal you away. Ain't a murderer, but we could kill time today. Life ain't always pretty, need a partner in crime. You can be my Bonnie, I can be a Clyde. We can just ride. Still singing cause y'all with me, ride. And y'all still sounding good now, ride. Sing it one more time, family, ride.
ConPhliction! Crazy! I leave you with this last piece titled Ghetto Speak. As I walk through these here ghetto streets, I open my ears and I listen to this ghetto speak. If you're not from here, it might sound weird because it all comes out in ghetto speech. And I'm a few years removed from these young dudes, so it even sounds a little bit confusing to me. What I'm talking about is not confidential. The decisions you make in these streets are consequential. My ghetto, Silk City, city I grew up in, the streets are erupting, while the walls that branch out from City Hall echo with corruption. Grew up on Main, 1 block from Jackson Street, play ball under the bridge, Ran bases in the empty lot next to where Grandpa lived. Rocks and glass under my feet. Noise pollution causes confusion. The bus is leaving. Don't be late for work. Driver stop just for you. Brakes screeching. Car of your own. Can't afford it. Listen to this ghetto speak. Don't ignore it. If you ain't from around here, then don't come around here. Because you ain't going to understand how we go down around here. That's the naughty way, and it's natural. We're two-legged animals, territorial like four-legged mammals. They call us crabs in the barrel, more like beasts in the jungle, eating our own fucking animals. Dude on the corner say ghetto made a man of me, but ghetto known for robbing family trees with their leaves like crooked charities run by thieves. That's why I get on my knees and pray God cover mine like a canopy. Whoop whoop! The red and blue, we call them Christmas lights. They come out at night, even in July. Fireworks and firecrackers. Blacks getting fired on by crackers and blue jackets. Blacks getting fired on by blacks for stacks and packets. As I walk through these here ghetto streets, I open my ears and listen to this ghetto speak. If you're not from here, it might sound weird because it all comes out in ghetto speech. And I'm a few years removed from these young dudes, so it even sounds a bit confusing to me. Thank you.
Yeah.
We want to thank you for joining us here today on Poetry Globe Live, where we are all poetry all the time. And remember, poetry is international.
Thank you.